right. Looks like. Let me get that. Close it up. All right, looks like we're live. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihil kareem. Hello everyone, my name is Miller Rob. Inshallah, we'll be doing the seminar on fasting, inshallah, for the month of Ramadan. We're gonna do this in a very simple manner. We're gonna start with a little Quran recitation, and then we'll explain a little bit about some of the fiqh and some of the rules aspect of fasting, but not in too much detail, inshallah. Maybe we can go into much more details during the Q&A period. And then we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of Ramadan, inshallah. So we have Qari Uwais here with us, who will start with the Quran recitation, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مسكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون صدق الله العظيم.
All right, Jazakallah. That was Qari Uwais. Uwais Kara. Inshallah, he's going to be assisting me today with this seminar. So let's jump right into it. The fiqhi aspect of Ramadan, the keeping of the fast. These fasts, as we know, they are obligatory on us. One of the 5 pillars of Islam. Sometimes it's said it is the third, and thus the third most important pillar. But yeah, so this month of Ramadan, fasting in this month of Ramadan is fard, and to make the niyyah for it's very simple. All you have to do is just think about fasting for the beginning of the month, and you don't necessarily have to repeat that thought. It is quite automatic. Sometimes people might think that you have to say the intention out loud, and that's not the case. You don't have to say the intention out loud. All you have to do is think about it the night before, specifically, or more better to do it during suhoor. So yeah, you do it first one time during the beginning of the month, and the rest should be automatic, inshallah. So as we know, fasting starts at twilight, was it? Yes, at twilight, and ends at sunset, Maghrib. So we know, we pretty much are all aware of, the things not to do during fasting. So not to eat and not to drink, or any intimate relations. But some of the other things that break fast. So we'll talk about that right now. Um, but to simplify things, I will give you a very general rule of how that works, so you can keep that in mind. So keep the general rule in mind at all times. As with any rule, there are some exceptions. So we'll talk about the exceptions, but if you keep that general rule in mind, most of the time you will be able to figure out if the act is gonna break your fast, or if it's not. And I always like to tell people and to compare it to wudu, or to contract it with wudu. So for wudu, the things that break your wudu are things that generally, uh, if you think about it that way, things that come out of your body. That's what will break your wudu. At any point, correct me or stop me at any point. So things that come out of your body will break your wudu. So, for example, you go for urine, or you go to the washroom, or you pass gas, or you lose blood. So those are the things that will break your wudu. For fasting is, if you can think about it that way, kind of like the opposite. So it's something that enters your body. So it's not something that leaves the body, but it enters the body. But specifically enters the body and nourishes, or feeds the body through the stomach. So basically, it has to reach the stomach, and that's essential. So if you just insert something into your body, that's not going to break your fast. The condition is that it has to reach your stomach, and it has to nourish your body. So if you keep that general rule in mind, most of the time you'll be able to tell, you'll be able to figure out what breaks your fast, and at the same time you just learn what breaks your wudu as well. So before I go into some of the exceptions and some things we want to talk about for the breaking of the fast, we'll just go with some of the things that are undesirable during fasting. Of course, any sort of sins, we must try to avoid all sorts of sins. We know that shaitan is no longer amongst us, and so whatever acts we're doing is basically our habits, you could say. But it's really, we can't really blame anyone at this point. We have to really refrain ourselves, from committing sins, and like especially things like lying and backbiting and swearing and even getting angry. That's something we should absolutely avoid. But then also chewing something or tasting things, those are undesirable. We shouldn't do those things. What else we have? To complain about the hunger, to gargle more than necessary. So these are the basic things that are undesirable during a fast. If we go into the things that break your fast, as I said, anything that enters the body, so and nourishes the stomach. But some of the exceptions around that are, for example, and these are things that break your fast, but don't necessarily, go to your stomach or anything like that. Vomiting intentionally with a full mouth. So if you throw up, if you force yourself to throw up with a full mouth, that is going to break your fast. Of course, if you enter the menstruation period, that's going to break your fast. So you stop fasting. If it happens during the middle of the day, then you stop fasting. But as with anybody who breaks his or her fast, during the day, that person is recommended to complete the day without eating or drinking. So it's the same for menstruation, but it's also the same for any other situation as well. The last thing is forced ejaculation. So if you force it, then it's going to break your fast. Otherwise, if it's through like a dream or something like that,